Senate pass background check bills and red flag bills. We are going to remind people that each day in this country, 100 people die, and hundreds more are injured by gun violence.
8, 9, 10, 11 years old, even when I was that age, it was too easy to get access to guns and to drugs and to all the things that have destroyed our communities. We have to change that by changing who represents us in the White House.
My son, Christopher Ross Michaels Martinez, is dead. Shot and killed in Isla Vista, California, May 23rd, 2014. A college student, 20 years old, our only child. That night, the shooter shot 10 and 3 died. 58% of Americans have said they or someone that they care for have experienced gun violence in their lifetime. I refuse to accept that we have to live like this. I refuse to accept that we can't do better.
So we have to start fighting this now. We probably are going to have to get out of San Francisco and California to do it. Yes. So we're going to take our vacations. Our vacations are going to be in those states to go fight.
My brother was 15 years old. 15. Nobody deserves to lose their life at 15 years old. Nobody deserves to lose their life at all.
If you've sat in a room with a mother who's lost a child to violence, and a lot of you have, you know what that looks like and what that feels like. And I can't even begin to understand what a family goes through when that happens.
Nephew is a victim of suicide by gun violence, and so in that way it is very close to home.
And we know that laws are just the beginning. We know that we need to stop the cycle of violence on our streets, and that it's these partners interrupting violence right here in our hospitals and in our communities that are doing the real work to make sure that our gun violence epidemic ends. And so this year we decided to up the ante and to spend $30 million as a state supporting those programs.
I'm out here to support the ban of assault rifles. I was a U.S. veteran, 82nd Airborne, and these weapons don't belong in the hands of average citizens. They're police and military-style weapons that have no place in society.
California has universal background checks, as my great colleague Rebecca just reminded us, but the federal government has refused to act. California says you can't buy a gun if you're not 21, but the federal government has refused to act.
I became involved in the movement after Parkland when my children became frightened of going to school, and I realized that I couldn't live like this anymore, and neither could my children.
Living in fear is not living. Avoiding places where there are lots of people is not liberty. How can I pursue happiness when hate-filled people have access to weapons that can, in 1 second, take my life? Dear senators, if you don't act, we will vote you out.
Vote them out! Vote them out! Vote them out! Vote them out!
And they talk about all the gun owners' rights. Well, where are our rights? Where are our rights? Do I have the right to go to work without getting shot? Do I have the right to walk down the street without getting shot? Do I have the right to go to school without getting shot? So for all of us, we sit down, and I've sat down with him and tried to work out amendments. That's what I do with every opponent. We try to work out amendments. We can't get there.
So as students, I think it's our responsibility to be on the front lines of fixing this issue, because we're already on the front lines.
This is a bipartisan issue. 90% of the American people support common sense background checks. So why is this not happening? Why is this not happening?
My son caught all 5 of those bullets and died right there on the scene on July 17, 1996. NRA, you are going to move out today because we mothers, fathers, and community members and leaders, we're not taking it anymore. Y'all remember the civil rights movement that said we couldn't do it? Remember, we did it. Some died, we marched across the bridge, we got beat on and spit on, but we got civil rights, didn't we? Women, they didn't want women to vote, but we vote today, don't we, women? The LGBT community, they tried to stop it. We're here today, aren't we? to none of us. You can't stop the people. We are the people. We have the power. And this is the hour to stop gun violence.